Hi, I'm Marcia Winbeckler, and my husband Roland and I own CakeSuppliesPlus.com. We're professional cake decorating instructors, and we've been on the Food Network and TLC's Ultimate Cake Off. And we've done life-size cake sculptures of and for celebrities, and photos of those can be seen on our website too. And I want to show you today how to use a great two-piece bottle mold that makes a three-dimensional bottle. And this particular one that I'm using is one that makes a slightly smaller bottle, so the size of it really lends itself well to making like a cooler cake, an ice tub cake. You don't have to make a full set of life-size bottles. These are slightly smaller, and they also take less isomalt that way. And I want to show you some of the supplies I'm going to be using today. First of all is the two-part bottle mold. I'm going to need some rubber bands to put it together. I'm going to use a silicone measuring cup to melt my isomalt in. I have isomalt here, and this is the pre-made sticks that you can purchase, or if you make your own. A lot of times I will make a large batch, and what I do is I pour it into this silicone ice cube tray, which also makes great ice cubes to go with your bottle. But I'll pour it into the ice cube tray, and incidentally, one of these cubes is about the same amount of isomalt as the sticks. And then you can store those in a well-sealed bag or container, and they will last several months, and so you have your own pre-made isomalt, and it's less expensive. I'm also going to be using a silicone-coated spatula here for stirring the isomalt, a silicone mat, and then most importantly are my protective gloves that I'm going to be using. To prepare the mold for making the sugar bottle, I want to spray a little bit of the vegetable spray on my hands and just put a really thin coating of that inside the bottle mold, and that just makes it release a little bit easier, less chance of cracking or breaking the sugar bottle. And there's a lip here, so when you join the two pieces together, it seals it and keeps any of the sugar from leaking through, so it just easily fits together like that. You can see the seam there. Then I'm going to take the rubber band. I'm using a number 64 here. You can get a slightly wider one also, which is a number 84. And I'll put another one in the center and then one on the other end here. And it's as easy as that. You can see, and there's the pour hole where we're going to pour the sugar in. And I'm going to use about 8 of the isomalt sticks and add some food coloring. I'm going to make a brown bottle today. So I'll have about half of it left, but that lets me fill the mold at least half full, and I get a little bit less bubbles. So I just put the sticks in the microwave for about a minute and start the cooking process, and then stir them, and then every 30 seconds stir and check on them to see that they've melted. Now the first thing you need to do before taking the sugar out of the microwave is put on your gloves to protect your hands. So I've cooked it in the microwave for a minute, and I've added my food color, and you can use paste or liquid color. A little bit of brown food color in there, and you can see it's still kind of thick, so I'm going to want it a little warmer than that. So I'm going to cook it on 30-second intervals now, and after just 30 more seconds it comes out of there really bubbly, and now it's all melted. Next, what I do to kind of prevent big air bubbles in my bottle is I will put this in the regular oven that I have set at 275 degrees, and I leave it in there for 15 minutes, and that lets most of the bubbles kind of rise to the surface, and it makes a perfect pouring temperature for the sugar. Okay, I have my sugar that I just took out of the oven. I'd let it set in there for 15 minutes so that most of the air bubbles could rise to the surface and pop, so that I get as bubble-less of a bottle as I can. Then I'm just going to pour it down the center. You want to not shake it up too much, so going straight down the center through this pour hole on the mold. Then you can see that's about half full or so. And then the advantage of this mold being a translucent is I can see the areas that I have covered here. So I'm just going to roll it around real gently. Again, I don't want to form any air bubbles. And you can kind of see at the opening where it just sort of comes up to the lip there. Don't let it pour out, but just in case, you've got your silicone mat there so it won't hurt your counter or surface. And once I've got it all rolled around, then I want to drain out the excess. And to drain out the excess, I like to use a 1 cup measuring cup that I have sprayed with the vegetable oil spray. And then I just set it over the cup and let the excess sugar drain out. And once that stops draining out, you can take a spatula or even a toothpick and clean up the edge so you don't have a big lip there on the bottom of your bottle. But now I have to decide whether I want to let it firm up with the opening down or the opening up. If you don't have a torch, a creme brulee torch, I would turn it over and let it firm up with the opening up and get a nice clean edge here. However, if you have a creme brulee torch, you can let it firm up with the opening down, set on a silicone mat, and that way you'll get less drip backs. So now with the opening on the bottom sitting on the silicone mat, I'm going to put this in the freezer. And with it sitting with the opening on the bottom, it takes about 20-25 minutes for it to firm up. I've removed the mold from the freezer and I'm going to take off the rubber bands here. And I'm going to lay down the mold and just start working it up gently. And you can seal it with this nice translucent mold. You can see it start to peel away. I'll see if I point it towards the camera so you can see where it starts peeling away. You see it start changing color inside there. I'm going to do this gently so you don't put pressure on it and break it. So there, I've got 1/2 of it unmolded. And then for the second half, I usually lay it down and I will kind of pull away the sides from it so that it doesn't pull on it hard when I'm taking it out. So then I've loosened it as much as I can. And then I just gently sort of want to peel it out of there. And there you have your 3-dimensional sugar bottle.